You start your day like always, maybe juice, sweet coffee, or milk, thinking it's healthy. But what if those familiar drinks are quietly fueling inflammation? In this video, we're ranking 5 morning beverages, from the ones that make your joints ache, to the ones that help your body heal after 60. Quick question before we start, what's the first thing you usually drink each morning? Drop it in the comments, I'm curious. And now, it's time for the intro. 3, 2, 1. It was during a quiet morning checkup that I met Mr. Jensen, 68 years old, retired postal worker, proud grandfather of 4, and still mowing his own lawn every Saturday. As he sat on the exam table, he rubbed his right knee gently and said, half joking, "Doc, I think my joints hate mornings more than I do." That was my cue. I smiled and asked what his usual morning routine looked like. "Easy," he said, "I get up, make myself a nice glass of orange juice, maybe a sweet iced coffee if I'm out of juice, then sit on the porch to read the paper." That's when I paused. It's a moment I've seen countless times. People over 60 often assume their aches, stiffness, or bloating are just part of aging. But sometimes, the answer is as simple, and surprising, as what's in their cup each morning. You see, not all morning drinks are created equal. Some calm the body, gently waking up your system and reducing inflammation. Others? They sneak in sugar, chemicals, or compounds that quietly fan the flames of discomfort, joint pain, digestive issues, or that sluggish, "I just woke up but already feel tired" feeling. And the tricky part? The worst offenders often wear a "healthy" label. So today, we're going to walk through 5 of the most common morning drinks for seniors, ranked from worst to best. These are drinks I see patients consume all the time, sometimes out of habit, sometimes out of good intentions, but often without knowing the full story. We'll break each one down, what makes it harmful or helpful, how it may affect your aging body, and what small changes you can make starting tomorrow morning. For each drink, I'll also share real stories from patients, like Mr. Jensen, who've noticed significant improvements just by swapping one drink for another. These are not extreme diets or expensive supplements. In fact, the most powerful shifts often come from the smallest choices. Think of this as your personal morning drink checkup. Whether you're starting your day with something sweet, creamy, tangy, or warm, this guide will help you understand how each one affects inflammation, and by extension, how you feel during the rest of your day. And let me be clear, this isn't about fear. It's about clarity. Because once you see which drinks are silently irritating your system, and which are quietly healing it, you'll never look at your morning cup the same way again. So let's get started, counting down from the most inflammatory to the most soothing. Some of the results may surprise you. But I promise, by the end of this video, you'll feel more confident about what goes into your body each morning, and your joints, gut, and energy levels will thank you for it. Let's start our countdown with the 2 worst offenders, the morning drinks that, despite their popularity, quietly contribute to chronic inflammation. These are the drinks I often talk about during appointments with my older patients, especially those struggling with joint pain, bloating, or that heavy fatigue that seems to hang around even after a full night's sleep. Number 5, the sugary bottled coffee. I remember a visit from Mrs. Clark, a 65-year-old retired teacher who still tutored part-time at her local library. One morning, she walked into my office holding one of those sleek, colorful bottled iced coffees. I know, she said, waving it playfully, "this probably isn't doctor approved." She wasn't wrong. These ready-to-drink coffees are everywhere now, sold in gas stations, grocery aisles, even vending machines. They're marketed with words like latte, espresso, or mocha blend, and they're often mistaken as a quicker version of the real thing. But here's the problem, they're loaded with added sugars, artificial creamers, and stabilizers. Some contain as much sugar as a can of soda, sometimes even more. Sugar, especially in liquid form, causes a rapid spike in blood glucose, followed by a crash that stresses your system. But more than that, sugar fuels inflammation at the cellular level. Over time, that can make arthritis feel worse, deepen fatigue, and even irritate the lining of the gut. In Mrs. Clark's case, she drank one of those bottled coffees every morning before her tutoring sessions. She thought it gave her energy, but what it really gave her was a blood sugar roller coaster, and by midday, she always felt drained, achy, and in need of a nap. When we replaced that bottled coffee with a homemade cup of black coffee and a splash of unsweetened oat milk, her energy steadied, and her knees stopped complaining by lunchtime. The takeaway? If you're drinking coffee from a bottle with a long list of ingredients you can't pronounce, it's time to reconsider. Swap it for freshly brewed coffee at home, no sugar, no syrups. And if you need a little sweetness, try a dash of cinnamon or a few drops of vanilla extract. Your joints and your digestion will thank you. Number 4, store-bought orange juice. This one surprises a lot of people. Orange juice has long been seen as a symbol of a healthy breakfast. It's bright, it's packed with vitamin C, and it tastes like sunshine. But unfortunately, the kind most people drink, especially the boxed or bottled version, is doing more harm than good. I think back to Mr. DeMarco, a 71-year-old former firefighter, who prided himself on staying in shape. Every morning, he'd start his day with a tall glass of orange juice, thinking it was a clean, healthy choice. But he came to me complaining of recurring heartburn, stomach discomfort, and soreness in his ankles. After ruling out other causes, we took a closer look at his diet, and orange juice was a daily fixture. Here's the truth: commercial orange juice is often pasteurized, which removes many of the natural enzymes and micronutrients. Then sugar or concentrate is added to bring back flavor. Even if labeled 100% juice, a single glass can contain over 20 grams of sugar, without the fiber found in whole oranges that help slow down absorption. This means that orange juice can spike your blood sugar and trigger inflammation, especially if your body is already sensitive to high fructose intake. For older adults, this can translate to joint swelling, fatigue, and digestive upset. When Mr. DeMarco agreed to try a simple swap, replacing his morning orange juice with a cup of warm lemon water and a whole piece of fruit, he noticed a difference within days. No more heartburn. Less ankle stiffness. He even joked that he stopped squeezing the sun into a glass and started feeling the sun in his body instead. If you still enjoy citrus in the morning, consider having a fresh orange or grapefruit, something with the fiber intact. Or better yet, infuse your water with a few slices of lemon or orange peel. You'll get the flavor and some antioxidants, without the inflammatory sugar spike. The common thread between them. You might have noticed a pattern already: the worst drinks are often the ones that feel the most familiar. They're easy, they taste good, and they've been part of morning routines for decades. But when your body starts reacting, whether through pain, bloating, or fatigue, it's trying to tell you something. Inflammation doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. That's why it's so important to look not just at what you eat, but what you drink. For older adults, the first thing that enters your system each morning sets the tone for the rest of the day. Are you calming your body, or aggravating it? We're only at the beginning of our countdown, but already, with 2 simple changes, you can shift from a pro-inflammatory state to a more balanced one. And the best part? You don't have to give anything up, you just have to give your body better versions of what it's already asking for. In the next part, we'll talk about the middle ground, those drinks that aren't terrible, but might not be working in your favor either. And after that, we'll get to the good news, the soothing, healing morning beverages that can make you feel better from the inside out. Now that we've cleared the 2 biggest troublemakers off the table, let's move into the gray zone, the drink that's neither a villain nor a hero. I call this the middle ground, because for some people, it works just fine. For others, especially those with certain sensitivities, it may quietly be making things worse. It all depends on how your body responds. Number 3, whole milk or creamy cow's milk. I had a lovely couple come into my office last spring, Mr. and Mrs. Miller, both in their early 70s, married for over 40 years, still walking their golden retriever every morning. They were generally in good health, but Mr. Miller had recently started experiencing a bloated stomach and stiffness in his hands by mid-morning. He joked, "I blame old age and the neighbor's dog tugging me too hard during walks." But as we talked through his routine, I noticed one consistent habit: he always started his day with a tall glass of whole milk or a bowl of cereal swimming in it. Milk, especially whole milk, is one of those beverages that divides opinion. On one hand, it's rich in calcium and protein. On the other, as we age, our bodies often produce less lactase, the enzyme needed to digest lactose, the sugar found in milk. That means many people over 60 may experience symptoms like gas, bloating, or joint discomfort after consuming dairy, without realizing dairy is the culprit. In Mr. Miller's case, we decided to do a 2-week trial without any cow's milk, just to see. He switched to unsweetened almond milk in his morning cereal and avoided creamy coffees. The results surprised even him. "Doc," he said after 2 weeks, "I haven't had to unbuckle my belt by 10 a.m. in days." His digestion improved, his hand stiffness eased, and, perhaps most importantly to him, he didn't feel sluggish after breakfast. Now, to be clear, dairy isn't automatically bad. Mrs. Miller, for instance, continued drinking a small glass of milk with no problem. Some people tolerate it well, especially if they've been drinking it consistently for years. It's all about personal response. That's why I never tell patients over 60 to cut dairy across the board. I tell them to listen to their bodies. Here's what I often recommend. If you drink milk and feel fine, no bloating, no discomfort, then you may not need to change anything. But if you're struggling with morning sluggishness, gassy belly, or a low-grade heaviness, try replacing milk for a week or 2 with a non-dairy alternative, almond, oat, or coconut milk, preferably unsweetened. Give your body time to respond, and take note of how you feel. Also, be cautious of flavored or sweetened plant-based milks. Some of them are loaded with added sugars or gums that can cause their own set of digestive issues. Look for clean labels, just water, nuts or grains, and maybe a touch of sea salt. The point here isn't to fear milk, but to understand it. For many, it's perfectly neutral. For others, it's a hidden source of discomfort. And for a few, it may be quietly fueling inflammation in the gut or joints. The only way to know is to test and observe. Your body will always leave clues. As we move into the next chapter, we'll step away from this middle zone and into the positive territory, the drinks that can actively help calm inflammation, soothe digestion, and energize the body in a gentle, steady way. But don't overlook this middle step. Sometimes, it's not the worst thing we're doing, it's the thing we never thought to question. Now that we've cleared the fog of inflammation-causing drinks and passed through the middle ground, it's time for the part one love most, talking about what works. Because while it's important to cut out what's silently making us feel worse, the real joy comes from adding in the things that truly make a difference. The good stuff. The drinks that support your joints, soothe your gut, and help you start your day not just awake, but alive. Number 2, warm water with lemon and ginger, or turmeric. Not too long ago, I saw Ms. Evelyn, a 67-year-old retired florist who radiated calm, but came in complaining of stiffness in her fingers and a lingering ache in her lower back that made mornings uncomfortable. Her blood work didn't show anything dramatic. Her diet was relatively clean. But there was one thing missing in her routine, something gentle that could kickstart her body without shocking it. That's when I suggested she try replacing her morning tea with something a bit more restorative, warm lemon water with ginger. Let me explain why this simple drink can be so powerful. Lemon, though acidic on the tongue, has an alkalizing effect in the body. It supports the liver's natural detox pathways and aids digestion. Ginger, meanwhile, has long been used for its anti-inflammatory and digestive properties. Several studies, including one published in the Journal of Medicinal Food, show that ginger can reduce muscle pain and soreness, especially in older adults with osteoarthritis. When taken first thing in the morning, the combination of warmth, citrus, and spice gently wakes up the body's systems, hydrating cells, reducing inflammation, and soothing the gut lining. Ms. Evelyn was skeptical at first. "You mean I'm trading my English breakfast for this?" But agreed to try it for 10 days. I still remember her follow-up visit. She smiled, flexed her hands, and said, "You know, I didn't expect much, but I actually feel looser. Like someone turned down the volume on my joints." She also reported fewer bloating episodes and more consistent morning energy. All from water, lemon, and a bit of root. A quick note: if you can't tolerate ginger, turmeric is a wonderful alternative. Just a small pinch of turmeric powder, ideally with a crack of black pepper for better absorption, in warm water with lemon can deliver a similar anti-inflammatory punch. And if you're worried about the taste, a teaspoon of raw honey is okay, especially if you're not dealing with blood sugar issues. The beauty of this drink is in its simplicity. It's inexpensive, easy to prepare, and deeply nourishing, like a warm hello to your body at the start of each day. Number 1, collagen peptides in water, or smoothies. And now we've arrived at what I believe is the most underappreciated morning drink for people over 60, collagen peptides dissolved in water or blended into a light breakfast smoothie. Collagen isn't just a beauty trend, it's the primary protein in your joints, tendons, ligaments, and even your gut lining. After age 50, our natural collagen production starts to decline significantly. This is when people begin to notice more joint creaks, slower recovery from minor injuries, even looser skin. But here's the good news: research shows that supplementing with hydrolyzed collagen peptides, especially first thing in the morning, can help rebuild this essential protein from the inside out. Take Mr. Franklin, for example. A 72-year-old former tennis coach with years of wear and tear on his knees. He wasn't interested in painkillers or surgeries, just wanted something natural that might help him keep playing doubles once a week. I recommended he start with a daily scoop of unflavored collagen peptides stirred into a glass of water every morning, preferably on an empty stomach. At first, he found it bland and forgettable. But 3 weeks later, he returned for a check-in. His words: "My knees don't argue with me when I stand up anymore." It wasn't a miracle. But it was progress, steady, noticeable, and most importantly, sustainable. He had also started sleeping better and reported less stiffness in his shoulders. Now, let's be clear, collagen isn't an instant fix. It's like replanting grass in a worn-out field. You need consistency, hydration, and time. But the research backs it up. Studies from both the International Journal of Medical Sciences and Current Medical Research and Opinion suggest that daily collagen peptides can reduce joint pain and support tissue repair in older adults. My favorite way to recommend collagen: stirred into warm water with a squeeze of lemon, or blended into a breakfast smoothie with spinach, berries, and plant milk. No added sugars. Just whole, healing ingredients. And if you're worried about quality, choose a hydrolyzed, aka peptides, form, ideally from grass-fed sources. It absorbs more efficiently and is gentler on sensitive stomachs. One last note: collagen works best when your body has enough vitamin C to help build and repair tissue. So pairing it with citrus or adding a small piece of fruit in the morning makes a big difference. The emotional side of it all. Here's something I've learned after years of practicing medicine: it's not just about chemistry, it's about how you feel after your morning routine. Many of my older patients have shared that changing their first drink of the day felt symbolic. "It's like I was finally doing something kind for myself," one patient told me. "Not because I had to, but because I deserved to feel better." That kind of shift, mental, emotional, and physical, creates real healing. When your morning drink becomes an act of care rather than an autopilot habit, your entire day changes. In the next chapter, we'll tie everything together with a helpful chart and checklist, so you can see clearly where your current routine lands, and how to gently adjust it for the better. But for now, just know this: your body isn't broken. It's listening. And with the right morning choice, it can start healing, with just one glass. So here we are, full circle. From the hidden dangers of sugary bottled coffees to the quiet healing power of a warm glass of lemon and collagen, we've walked through 5 common morning drinks that can either stir up inflammation or soothe it. And if there's one message I hope sticks with you, it's this: your morning drink matters more than you think. Let's recap with a simple mental checklist. Imagine 3 columns: red, yellow, and green. In the red zone, we have bottled sweetened coffee drinks, commercial orange juice. These are the heavy hitters when it comes to inflammation. They're sweet, convenient, and familiar, but behind the comforting taste is a storm of added sugars, preservatives, and hidden triggers. If you're feeling bloated, tired, or achy before noon, these might be quietly to blame. In the yellow zone, whole cow's milk. Not terrible, not great. Some people handle it fine, others feel off without realizing why. It all comes down to listening to your own body. If you feel light, energized, and comfortable after drinking it, great. If not, don't be afraid to experiment with non-dairy alternatives. And finally, in the green zone, the drinks that actually help your body fight inflammation. Warm water with lemon and ginger or turmeric. Collagen peptides in water or smoothies. These aren't trendy fads, they're gentle, time-tested tools. They hydrate, calm, and support the systems that keep you moving freely. And the beauty is that they're not complicated. You don't need a fancy blender or a special subscription, just a little attention, consistency, and curiosity. You might be wondering, what if I've been drinking something from the red zone for years? That's okay. Awareness is a gift, not a guilt trip. The best time to make a change is when you're ready. And the smallest shift, like swapping one drink a few days a week, can ripple out into your whole life. So now, I'd love to hear from you. Which level are you at right now, red, yellow, or green? Have you noticed how your body reacts after your morning drink? Any stories of what helped, or didn't? Leave a comment below, I read them. And often, your story helps someone else take their first step too. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like the video, share it with a friend who needs a gentle nudge, and subscribe for more weekly tips to help you feel stronger, lighter, and more in control, after 60 and beyond. Your body is wiser than you think. All it needs is for you to listen, and maybe, tomorrow morning, to pour something a little kinder into your cup.